Everyone, it's your girl Tina Olise. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be giving you tips on how to retain your hair length, how to reduce breakage, things you're supposed to be doing to see visible length retention. If you're watching this video, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're new here and you're not yet subscribed, and click on that notification bell to get notified anytime I upload a new video. So when we talk about length retention, what does it mean? Length retention basically is your hair growing and you actually seeing the growth, like the length. That is what the word length retention means. You're actually retaining the length, the growth your hair is having. Why some people believe your hair is not growing is because the amount of length they see or the amount of retention they have is not good enough. The main cause of you not retaining length is breakage. How? When your hair is breaking or you're losing more hair than your hair is growing, then you'd see no length or you'd see very little length over a long period of time or a longer period of time. So first of all, if you want to retain length, you have to reduce, minimize the amount of breakage you have. So there are tips that are actually put together to actually help you know what you're doing or what you're supposed to be doing to retain length, and there are 10 tips together. The first tip is actually what I always talk about, which is manipulation. People tend to manipulate their hair a lot, and when you're manipulating a type 4 hair, which is like the typical type of hair that we Africans have, even if you have type 3 hair and you manipulate every day, you might experience the same thing. But you have type 4 hair, which is tightly coiled and very, very fragile, and you manipulate every day, like when you're always combing your hair, braiding your hair, twisting your hair, doing something basically to your hair every day. It's not advisable because you're always tugging and stressing out your hair. That would pull out your hair from the follicles with force. It would also break your hair in between. You just see your hair just broke off. So the first step to actually retain length is to reduce manipulation. So number 2, protective styling. A lot of ladies have come to me asking me, what kind of protective styles should I do? First of all, styles like braids and crochets and stuffs are protective styles, but they can be damaging. And also, your hair is not accessible. I've said this before a lot of times in my previous videos. When you do a protective style and your hair and scalp is not accessible, it's very, very, very hard for you to reach and do things to your scalp, like oiling your scalp or moisturizing your hair. Any protective style that won't allow you to do that is a no-no. Except for protective styles, we have low manipulative styles. Low manipulative styles and protective styles sometimes confuse people. So now I'm going to tell you the difference. Low manipulative styles are styles that the ends of your hair are exposed and not covered up. But protective styles is when your hair is probably not accessible, especially your ends. You can have some styles that are protective styles, but your hair, without you adding extensions or braids or whatsoever, like this. This is a protective style because my ends are tucked away. But if I were to do this style and let my hair out, it's a low manipulative style. That's the difference. There are two similar styles, but the difference is your ends are tucked away and your ends are let out. So that's the difference between a low manipulative style and a protective style. So try doing styles that you can actually maintain your hair in properly and maybe cleanse your scalp properly and just be able to access your hair and scalp. So number 3 on my list is cleansing your hair properly and doing scalp treatment. Why do I say this? Like I said before, your hair grows from your scalp, so you need a healthy scalp and a well cleansed scalp for your hair to grow properly and freely. And also, anytime you wash your hair, like on your wash days, try to do scalp treatment. They are very, very, very helpful. I have a video on onion juice, which is like a scalp treatment. You could do other scalp treatments that works for you. Just make sure your scalp is healthy and in good condition. So number 4, moisturizing your hair properly. Tip number 5 is to keep your hair stretched. Type 4 hair typically undergoes shrinkage. So when I'm saying stretch your hair, is to do styles that will actually stretch your hair, like twist out, braid out, flat twist, cornrows, African threading method or something. Things that will just, make your hair to stay stretched and not to shrink up. Because when your hair keeps on shrinking back, and shrinkage isn't a bad thing, it's actually the way your hair reacts to moisture and all. It's the way your hair is supposed to be. When your hair shrinks, it tangles up much more faster because it's tightly curled and it curls up on each other. So avoid leaving your hair in its shrunken stage for a long period of time. Make sure your hair is in a style that will keep it stretched out and not shrunken. Also, when your hair is shrunken for so long, or you leave it in a shrunken state and try to manipulate it, like comb it or so, you lose more hair because that is going to cause more breakage. More breakage equals less length retention. Number 6, protect your ends. Why I always make emphasis on this is because normally your scalp actually produces sebum that helps to oil and moisturize your hair that's closer to your scalp. This moisture doesn't get down like to your ends, so that's why you have to properly take care of your ends, like giving your ends more attention, like applying a little bit extra oil to it, extra butters, to make sure it doesn't curl up or have split ends, which would make you like trim often and all that. And also be careful of things you use, like when you're doing this kind of style, like a bun style or something, you actually have to pack your ends together or put your ends together. Make sure when you're going to lose your hair from that style or that form that you put it in, the things you use to actually create that style isn't going to rip your hair off. So give extra attention to your ends. Number 7, get a routine. Yes, I said it. Get a routine. A consistent routine that you'd be consistent to every time. Don't do this today, then do this tomorrow, then do this tomorrow. Yes, I know you have to try out a few things to know which actually works for you or not. As a beginner and you don't really know what works for you, you have to find them out. But once you find out what works for you and keeps your hair healthy and good, then you're good to go. Just keep up doing what you're doing, stick to it. Don't come changing up routine because you see, oh, this person is doing this, or this is what is in vogue, or this. Don't do that. Your hair doesn't need all those kind of stress. Just stick to one routine and that's it. Number 8, use little or no heat on your hair. There are different type of ways to actually apply heat. For example, when you do your deep conditioning and you put on a plastic bag, yes, you're trying to create heat inside for your product to go in. And there's another type of heat, like when you use your blow dryers, your straighteners and all that. I'm not saying you shouldn't use blow dryers or straighteners. I'm not saying that, but use less of it because you can end up having heat damage, which is going to make you have a mini big chub and the length you've had over a long period of time will just be gone. If at all you want to use a heating tool or curl your hair or anything whatsoever with heat, use a heat protectant to protect your hair and do it properly. If you can't do it, go to a professional that can do it. Tip number 9, let your scalp breathe. Leave it alone. Just let it be. I've seen a lot of people applying lots of things on their scalp and that's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong, but you could get your follicles clogged by doing that. And you could also start having dandruff or dry skin or product build up and all that, which is going to clog your follicles and reduce hair growth. When you're done moisturizing, deep conditioning and all that, you don't need to apply a leave-in conditioner or a lot of things on your scalp because your scalp naturally will lubricate itself. So just focus on your hair strands and your ends and just all your scalp, just do all massages or hot oil treatments and that is okay. So the final tip number 10, protect your hair always. Yes, protect your hair. When I mean protect your hair from the environment. It's ideal for you to protect your hair from the environment because the environment exerts a lot of unhealthiness on your hair. For example, when you're going out the sun radiates ultraviolet rays and these rays are harmful for both our hair and our skin. So whenever you're going out and it's a very, very, very sunny day, try to protect your hair. Cover your hair up with a hat, use an umbrella, a turban, a scarf, anything at all that you know would protect your hair, do it. Also, you need to protect your hair while you're going swimming. Pool water contains chlorine, and this chlorine can dry out and dehydrate our hair. So to protect your hair from this, try to moisturize your hair. Use heavy oils and butter to seal in your moisture, and also to create a barrier to minimize the amount of water that is going to get into your hair. You don't just stop at that. You have to cover your hair up with a headgear or something to just cover your hair up and make sure water is not getting into your hair. The third way you can protect your hair is using a satin bonnet to sleep. This would help reduce friction and a lot of things that your hair is supposed to get caught up in, maybe when you're sleeping, and when your hair tries to tangle up and all that. If you were to use a cotton pillowcase, the material drags on the hair, causing frictions that can cause split ends, knots and tangles and all that. So using a satin or a slick bonnet is very, very beneficial for your hair maintenance. Also, it helps make sure that the moisture you apply to your hair stays in your hair. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed, and click on that notification bell so you get notified anytime I make new upload, because I'll be making more. Okay, I still remain your girl Tina Olise, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.